Welcome! Today I'm going to be showing you how to set up Spell Saga. We're going to be taking you from opening the box all the way to getting ready to play your first turn. Before we dive in, I should mention this is a review copy that I received from the publisher. That being said, I'm purely just going to show you how to set up the game, so you don't need to worry about any bias. Alright, let's dive in. Step 1, open the box. Yeah, good first step. Good first step. Boom. Box you can put to the side, don't need it anymore. And one thing you're going to notice once you open the game, every card back is going to be the exact same, which is really nice in Spell Saga because there's not a ton of card sorting. And if you're curious for an up close, boom. The card backs look like that for every single one. Oh, and I should mention too, we're doing deck 1, the Highlands. There are multiple decks of Spell Saga, but if you want to know more about that, I've got other videos. Should you buy videos and overview videos of the game. But yeah, we're doing deck 1, the Highlands. So, because everything has the same card back, really what you need to do for the setup, you need to locate the 6 cards that have a gold star in the top left of them. And that gold star is going to look boop, something like this in the top left of the card. Very good. So there's 6 cards like that, and I like to pre-sort my stuff. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yep, got my 6 cards. And you're also going to notice there is a handy rules. Rules? Nah, I think it's a player turn overview. That's probably the word I'm looking for. Yeah, so you've got one of those too, which is really nice because it gives you a reminder of how how do you say it? How the game's set up if you kind of forget and you need a quick reference, and it gives you an overview of what you can do in your turn, which is really nice. Okay, rules overview. I'll just put it over here. So now what you need to do is those 6 cards with the stars on them, you're going to need to put them in the appropriate piles. So the first one I like to do is the story card, and what you're going to notice, all the cards in Spell Saga, they're going to have the name of what they are on the top of them. So I had already showed you earlier, but I'll show you again. Why not? Story card, see that word story on the top? Yeah, that means it's a story card. And for the story card, you're going to see the top half, they're always going to have some flavor text to them, which is really cool because it gives you the kind of the background of Spell Saga. And then on the bottom, sometimes they're going to have mandatory text, and sometimes they'll have optional text. And that's really going to apply to all the cards throughout the game. So first thing you want to do, put the story in the story pile, which is located over here. Very good. So one thing to note, every time in this deck of cards right here, all the remaining ones that don't have the stars, you can shuffle them and you can put them on this side. That's kind of the, how do you call it? I think it's just called the deck is what the game calls it. So those are over there. But the thing I wanted to point out is anytime a story card is put into the story pile over here, you then draw a card from the deck, take it from the top, do not look at it, place it right below the deck, and that is going to represent the armor pile. So that's going to be how much health that your hero has. So every time a story card is put in the story pile, draw a card from the top of the deck, face down in the armor pile. Perfect. Okay, next thing I like to set up, I like to locate our hero. And I am super curious how this shows up on the green screen. So your hero card has hero at the top. Again, it's got the gold star in the top left of it. And that is the last minstrel or starting hero. One thing you're going to note is all the text right below our hero. That's going to be essentially the limitations, the specifications of what that hero's limits are. How many items they can carry, what their source limit is, which is how much money they can have, and so on and so forth. Every hero is going to have some sort of limitations. So for your hero, you're going to want to put them in the hero pile, which is right here. And you can spread it out, but these are the general areas. And it's important to note any other heroes that you might get throughout your journey of the world of Spell Saga, they'll go below this hero. So next, you're going to want to find your starting item, which, lo and behold, has the word item at the top of it. And that is your trusty rusted revolver. Trusty rusted revolver. There we go. That is a mouthful. So you're going to take that, and again, it's an item. You got a picture of it, and below the item title, that's going to be text that tells you how to use this item. So you're going to want to take this item and put it in your item pile, which is right next to your hero. Perfect. And then lastly, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to locate the 3 place cards. So the place cards in the game, they're going to go in the place pile, and these are essentially going to be the locations that you're going to be traveling throughout in the world of Spell Saga. And in deck 1, the Highlands, the way the place cards are set up, they're placed around in a circular motion around the table. But the only thing, when there's an exception to that rule, is actually happens to be your starting cards. It's when they are room cards, place cards that are rooms. There we go. And the way you can identify that is, boom, just below the title of the place that you're visiting, right below it, it's going to say room. So anytime they're room cards are always connected to one another, and they're going to be set up adjacent to one another in the direction upon which the compass on that card is. So what that means is, see how there's an up arrow on this guy? Well, what you're going to do is, you're going to go 1, and that's room 1 of 3. I'll put this down a little bit. You're going to have number 2, and we'll go down a little bit more, why not? And you're going to have number 3. So they're going to be adjacent to each other. So remember, deck 1, all the places are always placed in a circular motion, unless they're rooms, which just happens to be what our starting place cards are rooms, and that's why they're set up. And you might have noticed the place cards here, they're called the Crumbling Tower, which is pretty neat. So it's set up like a tower at the beginning. So really, that's a super quick setup of Spell Saga, and that's one thing that's beautiful about this game, is the setup is like, boom, just like that, and you're ready to play. So the one thing now to get ready to play, you might have noticed I have these dice here. Well, in the game, it only comes with cards, but we need to represent our heroes somehow. So because of that, you get to choose any token that you want to use to represent your heroes. And just because our starting hero has a hero limit of 3, I always bring out 3 dice. But to begin, you only need 1. And there's no rolling of these dice or anything. This is just a random token of your choosing. I just happen to choose dice because I've got them laying around. So this is going to represent my hero, the Last Minstrel. And to begin your turn, what are you going to do? You're going to move your hero, represented by your token, onto the first place, which is room 1, the Crumbling Tower. And then from there, you are ready to play Spell Saga. If you want to see actually how to play the game and an overview of how a turn actually works, check out my other videos. It's a time-lapse overview of Spell Saga where you watch full time-lapse playthrough of the game, and I also explain to you how to play it and how it all works. And if you want an even more in-depth video, check out my other Spell Saga video, Should You Buy Spell Saga, where I answer questions to help you decide whether or not it's a game for you or not. So other than that, hope you enjoyed the video. That's it. Super quick setup, and it's fantastic, and you can just kind of get playing very quickly. So that's all I have today. Until next time, so long, farewell.